And I was just glad to be united with Jesus. I wasn't hiding from him anymore. I just knew in that moment that it was going to be the best decision of my life, and my life would be different. And I would start to think different. I would begin to see his truth, his ways, his life. And there's something so comforting and eternal in that. It's truly freeing. Okay, so let's run it back from being born to born again. In the beginning, I was born on June 17th to my amazing parents. They're so cool. Family is so important to us. We really live and enjoy life together. We're not perfect people, but we do our best. I grew up on the West Coast, Seattle. Lots of family, always had family parties. We were always celebrating something, like we were that family. I also went to Catholic private school. This is me in kindergarten. I was so little, so naive, so innocent. When I was in Catholic private school, I did all the things. I did baby dedications, baptism, first communion. God had his hand on me this whole time, and he had me on this path. And then sometimes we veer off that path. We get lost, we go crazy, we wild out. And then we get to a point in life where we are so desperate and we need a savior. And I needed a savior. But the good news is that we all eventually find him again. When was the first time you felt deceived? What age were you? I remember the first time I was told to keep a secret from someone who I thought I could trust. I was very young, kindergarten, first grade. And this has to be the first time that I recall that I would experience what would be described as feeling shame, feeling guilt, condemnation, a loss of innocence. And you become aware that there's evil in the world. My innocence was taken from me at the age of 5 by 2 of my female babysitters that would take advantage of me in a way no child should ever experience. I was being groomed. And I can go into the details of that season and what I remember and how it traumatized me and how it affected me moving forward, but that's not the main focus of my testimony. My testimony is like everyone else's testimony. It's how I came to know Jesus and how he changed my life. When something like that happens to you that young, you can find yourself your entire life trying to reconcile what happened. Or now you're just more aware that you got to watch your back because people can't be trusted. This world can't be trusted. So from that first experience where I felt shame, I felt guilt, and I wanted to hide because now I had this secret, I began to see the world differently. It was really hard for me to trust people from that day on. But not anymore, because I have Jesus now. His ways are my ways. And I forgive her. To the women who took my innocence, I forgive you. My mom pulled me out of private school after first grade, and I went to a different school. So what happened from here to here? The best way I could describe this era of life, it's the scene from The Matrix. Well, what's interesting, in real life, the red pill represents the truth, and the blue pill represents the lie. And in this season of life, I wasn't sure what pill to take. Speaking of The Matrix, I literally thought I was Trinity from The Matrix when I was a kid. I thought one day I would play an action hero doing martial arts, fighting bad guys.
Devil, lay down, devil, down. Just that level make devils pray now.
My parents told me before I could even walk, I would pull myself up and hold on to the seat of the sofa and then try to kick like my dad. My dad, he was a well-rounded martial artist. He did taekwondo, he did karate, also did a little bit of boxing and MMA. I was around it all the time and still am today. A big part of my childhood I spent training in karate. I was obsessed with it. I was dedicated, I was focused, and I worked hard. I spent hours and hours every day for years training for belt promotions and competitions. I wanted to be the best. I traveled nationally, I competed internationally, and I won a lot. I learned a lot of discipline and mental strength and work ethic. It really developed parts of me that created structure in my life. I had some of my best childhood memories at that time. Life was good. It was really, really good. When I was 9, I remember having my first real crush. It was this boy at my karate dojo. I thought he was so cute. He was a good kid. We started karate at the same time. We went through all the belt promotions together. We even had to compete against each other in tournaments. I always beat him though. Our parents were friends too. This crush lasted a really long time, all the way to junior high school, but he always liked someone else, and that was that. Junior high and high school, that was an era. You know, you're put into this education system that also feels like a social experiment, right? And it could just be overwhelming as a teen. You know, our prefrontal cortex is not developed yet, right? So the ability to think rationally is challenging and it's emotional. Your body goes through these changes, you know, or you're around a new group of people, older kids who have influence over you. And I started to make dumb decisions at this point. With peer pressure, having good and bad judgment is based on popularity. And being popular in high school isn't a good thing, but kids do things to get acceptance and approval. Although that feeling in my heart told me not to, I skipped school for the first time with my friends. I didn't get caught. Ignoring that feeling in my heart started to feel exciting, and I started to crave that feeling. You know, I now had more secrets to keep from my parents, so I kept doing wrong until I got caught. And my parents were strict, like really strict Christian parents. Then you experience teenage angst and rebellion. I just wanted to do what my friends were doing. And we had no idea what we were doing. We were just trying to be cool and imitate what the older kids were doing. And I was also influenced by TV and movies that I would watch and music that I would listen to. You know, I idolized these celebrities. I had idols.